It's Mad Dave, the Mad Detectorist again, with something completely different. Oh, sorry folks, I'm just horsing around there. My mate, what's his name? I keep forgetting his bloody name. Oh, that's it. Barely shave a lot. That's who I've done this for. Because he's made a little comment again about detecting on footpaths, and I never had permission to do so. But actually, when I was out there on the field, it was a public right of way. I had no spade with me. That said, I mean, listen, barely shaven. What you've got to do, mate, you've got to just watch the full video, and then you'll be able to listen to things that I've said. For instance, I haven't brought my spade because this is purely for demonstration reasons only, because I just want to show a mate that's detecting away what the crack is with the low and slow. So I had no intentions of digging any holes, caused no damage, public right of way. Anyway, some good thing, something really good has come out of this, because what I've done, I went up and I seen the farmer, and he's allowed me to do it, so I can do all them footpaths now. So you know, thanks lads. And I had a couple of comments to, yeah, you're right lads, but if you're right in what you said for not metal detecting on footpaths without permission, no problem with that. That's the reason I never took my spade. But that led me on to this video, which is what I'm going to do next. Now you're going to like this, because this is mainly for the newbies. I have to put my glasses on because I'm going to do a bit of reading now. But for the lads that are new to detecting, right, you've gone out, or you've been really interested in the hobby, you've actually gone out and now you've bought a machine. You bought your machine, right, so you've got your machine. Now, where are you going to detect? What are you going to do? Right, well, here we go. Firstly, I keep doing that, don't I, when I'm on film. Firstly, what I've got to say is my next video that's coming up is for a group called Unearthed. Right, they wanted me to do a video on how to report hoards, you know, things like that, the Treasure Act and stuff like that, which I think is a good idea. So I'll do a bit of video on that, and I've got all the Treasure Act, got it all here, downloaded it all 100 and something odd pages. So I'm going to have to go through all that, and I'll just pick out the bits that, well, it's all relative. It is all relative, don't get me wrong. So before anyone says I've hold on, better do this now, Anna. Right, before anyone says anything, shot myself in the foot again, so I'll be on crutches tomorrow now. But who's bothered? I'm not. Right, so I've got that to go through, and then we'll do a video on the Treasure Act, and I'll help a few people out with that, because I don't think many know the full Treasure Act. If anyone's ever read it, I have glanced through it a few times, you know, obviously in the past, but I've never gone through it into great detail. But now, thanks to Barely Shaven, I'm going to go through it all and read it all, because that's the sort of guy I am. And not just that, but the treasure valuation process. I managed to get loads of literature on the full treasure valuation process. Now what I'll do with the treasure valuation process, I'll even put the links up for these as I come to the videos, right? But you'll find these very interesting. You know, if you find something that's a treasure, I will be explaining what treasure is, what is classed as treasure, right? That will be in a future video, of course. But you will find this very interesting, and I hope very helpful. Well, it should be very helpful anyway. More helpful than one of me, what do they call him? Forgot his name again, I keep forgetting that name. You know, him that looks like Japanese sniper. That's it, Barely Shaven, that's the one. Don't do iron, that's it. Right.
I don't do iron.
So, back to this. This is what today's is about. I've downloaded this actually from one of the metal detecting forums, one of the metal detecting sites. Now, this is information on where you can detect and what you should be aware of, you know, when you're going to find permission. Right, so I'll read it out to you nice and slowly, so that hopefully I don't give it another go on now. Just load it first. running out of bullets here. I keep shooting myself in the foot that much. Which one should we get it on? Should we get it on that one? Definitely going to be on them clutches tomorrow now, aren't I? Right, this is what it says, right? Briefly, all UK laws have to be followed. You are breaking the law of trespass if, in England and Wales, you search on land without permission. Now, if you notice, like I said in the video that I was last on, I wasn't searching. You know, I was purely demonstration that. On parkland, you run the risk of prosecution for willful damage if you dig huge holes. Follow the code of conduct and use a small trowel and replace divots neatly. Now, surely I won't have to go into how to dig a hole properly. You guys will know how to dig a hole properly and neatly. Just make sure you put all your rubbish in. Right, if you do get permission to go on a park, some advice I would give is take an old rag with you. A lot of the Americans who do it, again I'm mentioning the Americans because they know what they're doing. They take a bit of cloth with them or a bit of plastic sheet and they unravel it. They've taken the sod out, right, that's great because it's in one piece usually. Then they've dug the hole and all the spoil that's coming out of the hole they put onto this mat. So there's no mess on the ground. You know what I mean? It leaves nothing. Then all they do is just tip it all back in the hole when they finish finding whatever they were finding, put the sod back in and jump on it. It only takes 30 seconds. Jesus Christ, come on guys, you know that. Anyway, the Treasure Bill came into force on the 24th of September 1997 and you were obliged to follow it. Write to the Department of National Heritage, 2 to 4 Cockspur Street, London, SW1Y 5DH and ask them to send you a copy of the Treasure Act 1996 Code of Practice, England and Wales. This book is free of charge and will tell you all you need to know. You can also download this. Let's say I'll put the link on the bottom of here so that you over there, if I use this camera, so that you're all aware of where you can get this from, and just have a read through it. You know, if you're not sure of anything, read through it. Now, this isn't my law, this is the law. Even Almost Shaven, even he has to follow this one. Even he has to follow it. Right. The other law of importance to metal detector users is that concerning scheduled ancient monuments. In other words, you're not allowed on them, right? It is an offence to use a detector on a protected scheduled ancient monument, unless permission has been obtained from the Secretary of State for the Environment. And when seeking permission from the landowner, ensure that you ask if there are any protected sites on his land. You do not want to be caught on a protected site, right? Now, with me doing the research that I do, usually I do research on a place of interest. For instance, I've been doing it on Furness Abbey, we've got land around Furness Abbey, but I made sure that I knew exactly where the protected area boundary was before I went detecting. Otherwise, I would end up getting fined or possible imprisonment, because you are actually stealing from a national heritage site if you take anything off that land, or you're even damaging it, you know, and it could be protected for wildlife or anything, and there's you digging big holes, and if you don't fill them in properly, like we've talked before, if he's got sheep or anything on there, they'll get damaged to legs, they fall down the hole, anything could happen, and then you are in serious trouble. Right, so where can I use a detector? If you wish to metal detect on land, which is not your own, you must get permission from the landowner before you do so. Always ask permission when you're going to metal detect and dig holes, which is like causing damage in a way, minor sense. Right, if you metal detect on land without consent, you may be charged with a criminal offence and you could be sued for damages. Earlier cases where prosecution has taken place has also proved that you might lose your detector as well. Right, so you could possibly lose all your gear as well. You don't want that. You've just been out and you've just spent money on God knows what sort of an expensive machine. All machines are expensive. Even if it costs 50 quid, that's 50 quid of your hard earned. You don't want to lose that machine. Ask permission. It's not worth it. Right, how do I find some land to detect on? Good question. Right, there are basically three choices. You can rallies, right, that means joining a club, and getting in on the rally, get on the rally scene, which they're quite good. There's clubs right through the internet. If you type into Google metal detecting clubs, and you'll get every club that there is. There are hundreds and hundreds of clubs, not just in the UK, but in a lot of other countries as well. In America there's clubs, Holland there's clubs, there's some good clubs out there, and I would recommend joining a club. Right? I've been in clubs quite a few times, and they've helped me. You gain knowledge from real gurus, people who actually know what they're talking about, people that have been in the game for a long time. You pick up loads of tips. So I would say join a club. And they might even have land available exclusively to club members, which is also another good thing. Or ask permission yourself at farms. Go and knock on doors. Right? I've always, you know, it's not hard to knock on a door. Okay, you might get a no, there's more than one farm. But again, make sure you do your research. Get like 5 or 6 farms, 5 or 6 areas, or even more or less if you only want to do a few. But then you've sort of, you've got more coins in the basket, if you know what I mean. You've got, right, he said no, right, let's go around to this one. I've done some research on that one. You know, just keep knocking. That one, it will say yes. If you come across nice to them. And don't be like all funny with them if they say no. It's nothing personal. They just don't want you digging up their back garden. Not hard. Right, gardens. Good place to start and try out your machine. Lots of modern houses have loads of building material and junk. If you have an older house, you may make some interesting finds of historical interest. That isn't just going on anybody's garden, by the way. This is, if you are going to go on somebody else's garden, obviously you're going to ask for permission again, aren't you? Aren't you? I think so. Parks and commons. A number of local authorities have specific policies restricting the use of metal detectors on their land. You are advised to contact the county council and relevant district council as to whether you will be allowed to detect in your local park or not. So, all your local parks, if you're wanting to do a park in the UK, go and see your councillor, right? So either see your councillor or go down to the town hall and have a word with someone there who will give you the right person to be talking to, and see if you can gain permission to go on. But I bet there'll be a lot of stuff in parks. Parks have been used for hundreds and hundreds of years as well. You know, there's all sorts in them. So it could be worth asking. You might get a no, doesn't matter. There's plenty of other places. But it says here anyway, it will depend on the attitude of your local council towards metal detecting. So what I would be doing is, if I'd found anything like I have been doing, take it down to the Dock Museum, and when you go to the council, tell the council, I've donated a hell of a lot of stuff to the Dock Museum free of charge, you know, or the local museum free of charge. Is there any chance? And then tell them you have a mat, tell them you don't make a mess. Excuse me. If it helps, tell them that you'll go when it's the quiet periods. You won't go at weekends. You'll go when it's getting dark. You know, that sort of thing. So, you know, tell them that. All the parks and commons have been used by people for people over the years for a number of reasons, fairs, etc. So there must be a large amount of finds beneath the surface. Good places to search are around old trees, in park areas where people will have sat. Right, that's not rocket science, guys, is it? Round seats, on hillsides, picnic areas, round bandstands. You know, it's not rocket science. Beaches. Beaches. Beach detecting. This will provide you with beaches. You need a permit, right? You need a foreshore search, which you can get from a website. I will, on the NCMD, National Council Metal Detecting website, there is a link there that lets you apply, right, for a foreshore detecting, right, license. It's free. It doesn't cost you a penny, not a penny, right? So all you've got to do, go onto that website, NCMD, fill out the form from the link that it's out. I'll put the link along the bottom here. Fill out that form, give them your real email address, and within about 5-10 minutes check your email, check your spam bucket as well just in case, but check your email and you will have your licence. Print it out, carry it with you all the time, put it in your wallet, there you go, done. So then you can go down the beach and start detecting. Right, ploughed fields, only within the depth of ploughing. These are probably the most preferred sites for detectorists for making good finds, covering every period of history, and are normally easy to dig. The reason for this is that they are being regularly turned over by the farmer, which brings new finds to the surface and topsoil. Because of this though, many of these finds are damaged by the farm machinery and are also in danger from corrosion from agricultural chemicals, so you're saving history if you can get on ploughed land and get it dug up. But again, ask the farmer's permission or the landowner. If the farmer rents that land, ask the farmer who the landowner is. If you can't get hold, if he lives in somewhere like Gibraltar, try and get his address and send him a letter, right? And then get a written, again on the NCMD they have a section there, and there's a letter there asking that you can get signed. It's like an agreement. It's a search agreement where you have sole rights to search that land, and it's signed by the landowner. It's quite a good. Again, another link for you. I'll stick that right across here. Another one for you. Right, here's a good point. Make sure you know where the farm boundaries are, and check with the farmer if you can detect on drilled crops or not. Be aware of field drainage. Some fields have buried pipes under the plough soil to run water off into the ditches. So yeah, if you're getting a long signal, there's an easy way to tell this, guys. If you get a signal and it just carries on forever, obviously that's a pipe or a cable. You know what I mean? Just use your noggin. Use your noggin when you're on there. Again, ask for permission. Always ask permission. And from the archaeological viewpoint, oh sorry, I've jumped a little bit there because I'm going on to Pasture now. Pasture, right? It's another good place to search. Tricky one this, and the subject to some animated discussion between detectorists and archaeologists. For the detectorists, the advantages are that you can search these sites almost all year round, and fields will probably be in better condition due to lack of ploughing, etc. From the archaeological viewpoints, they would prefer detectorists to avoid undisturbed pasture or other grassland where there are likely to be significant archaeological deposits. For example, if a field has been ploughed for 5 years and then set to pasture, it would be seen as a responsible practice to detect on. Since the artefacts are unstratified. Now unstratified, right, on an archaeological point of view, means if you find, say 7-inch down on pasture land, you find a Roman bronze brooch, right, or a coin, Roman coin. The chances are, if that land has never been ploughed before, that has been dropped at that level, right? So that's a level in time. Now the chances are, if the archaeologists do a bigger of a dig there, everything they find will be around about that level, or maybe a bit lower if the buildings and things like that. If you come along and you detect and find that and then pull it out of the ground, they're not going to know how deep, you know what I mean? It's hard to explain. It's hard for me to explain anyway. Although we may almost shaven. I've shot myself in the foot again. Let's get it again. There you go. That's probably 3 times tonight I've shot myself in the foot. Footpaths and woodland. Right, you don't have the right to search public footpaths. We've been through this. They are rights of way only, and you must obtain permission from the landowner. That's if you're detecting. You must obtain if you detect the rights of way, right? So you can go on them. And there's nothing anywhere, I've had a look, there's nothing anywhere saying I can't go over backwards and forwards along that footpath with a metal detector if I haven't got a spade and I'm not digging any holes. Where does it say that, guys? It doesn't. You could go for a walk down this footpath, right? Get to the other end, turn around, come back. Oh, change my mind, I'm going to take my dog back down that footpath. You could go up and down that footpath with a dog, or a cat, or a lion, whatever you want. You can go backwards and forwards across that footpath. You don't have to keep asking the farmer for permission to walk on a footpath every time you go on a footpath, do you? Come on, come on. You silly old fossil, you've done it again. Need a bazooka for the amount of times you shot yourself in the foot, Mr. Non-Ferrous. Right then,
I don't do iron.
apart from lots of modern rubbish, you are likely to find coins and items dropped and lost by walkers. The older footpaths, some hundreds of years old, those which link villages to local landmarks and churches, are worth examining. It's best to search the area of ground to each side as well as the path itself. And woodlands, you know, go in the woods as well. People used to hide stuff in woods, didn't they, I think? I've never actually done a lot of woods. Like, we've got one or two around here, and there's rumour has it that there's a hoard found in one of them near the abbey. So, but thinking about it, if they found a hoard in the abbey with a metal detector, they have done it illegally, because that is, all the woods around that abbey are inside a protected zone. So they've been naughty. Right, so that's more or less, you've just bought your detector and you want to go metal detecting. Where would you go? So, to summarise, always ask permission. Landowner, farmer, council if you want to do parks. Right, beaches, foreshore licence, you'll need one of them. If you want to go mudlarking down the Thames, you need a licence down there as well, so you have to apply for one of them. You can, these links are all on the National Council Metal Detecting website, the NCMD. So get on there and have a good look round. Join forums. You'll get loads of information on them about where to detect, and there's loads of everything. There's everything you need in it. Join a club. Get in a club. We've got a very good club side at the moment, and I think it's going to be a bit of a success. We've got 20 plus members now. I still need to get some yeses from some farmers about taking more than myself and a couple of others on the land. But they're all a bit wary, which you can imagine. They don't want 20 or 30 people digging up holes, do they? Really? No, I don't think they do. So I am working on one or two of them though, and it could be, we could have some land very shortly that members can go on. Might not be out of a rally there, but it will be like open land so that members can go and detect as they want, sort of thing, without them having to go and ask permission. They might have to go and knock on the farmer's door, but that's about it. So I hope that's helped out, and I'm awfully sorry if some of the young lads that are very, very impressionable, according to the maestro, who reckoned that I've been leading people astray with my detecting on footpaths, even though I haven't. You know, he says that some young impressionable people will be led astray and be thinking they can go on public footpaths and rights of way without asking permission. But if you watch that video again, you know, it's the Low and Slow Revisited. You watch that video again, you'll see in there I say I never brought my spade because this was for demonstration purposes only, and I'm doing along a footpath, etc, etc. But he just wanted to see what he wanted to see and have another pot at Dave. Right. So guys, right, and if you want to find hammered coins, just do a bit of research. They're all over the country. They use that coinage everywhere, not just in one little area of England. They had mints in York, they had mints in Carlisle, they had mints in London, they had mints down near Birmingham, they had mints in Winchester, they had hammered coin mints everywhere, right? They used coinage everywhere. Do a bit of research, find yourself a medieval market site or medieval fair site. That's what you want. Get yourself one of them and you will start finding a lot of hammered coins. And when people tell you there just aren't any hammered round here, they really are talking poo-poo. And that is about it for me, so I'll wrap up. Next time, or the next video I will be doing, will be about how to report your hoards, who to get in touch with, i.e. your coroner, if the police need informing, you know, things like that. It's going to be pretty interesting, I think. But I'm doing this next video for, like I say, a group called Unearthed. They're on the Facebook, and the lad that owns the lad that owns it is a really good lad. Graham Rushton is his name. He's a nice lad. And he just wanted me to do a bit of a video about that sort of thing, about how to report fines, do find liaison officer, people like that. Right, so I'm going to wrap it up now. Right, I'll tell you what, we'll just do one more. We'll do one more, I'll just keep me macking. How many did I do? 3? Shoot me solid a 4 again. I probably have done. We get that? Let's have a look. There we go. That's it. Right, Dave signing off. Bye for now, chaps. Thank you.